When you take on something as challenging as ride across Britain, 1,000 miles, 9 days, a lot of climbing, and some really testing British weather, you know it's going to be hard. And I knew that I'd taken on something to test myself and to push myself. This is kind of on the bucket list of road cycling in Britain. Land's End to John O'Groats, Le Jog, as they call it. It is the event and the challenge that serious cyclists in Britain want to take on. And people from around the world come too. I've challenged myself in my career as a reporter, a foreign correspondent, a war correspondent for 30 years, and then building Trint, the tech company that I founded 10 years ago. You need resilience to do all these things. And I think so much about an endurance event is resilience. It's about saying, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling defeated, but I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm just going to keep moving forward. And I remember that first day, the first 2/3 of the ride, the first 60 or 70 miles, went really well. And I thought, this is good. And there's a huge amount of climbing. It's actually, they start in Cornwall because Cornwall is almost never flat. It's just hills all the time. And after the second pit stop, the last third of the day, there were just more hills. And I remember starting to lose gas. And I really struggled to make it up those final hills to base camp. And I thought, I don't know if I can do tomorrow. I don't think I can do 9 days of this. I found that all 9 days, I didn't get better and better. It was up and down. It was periods of really, real strength and then just testing exhaustion. And I think what I learned is that if you just keep going, you have more in you than you think. And that's really what endurance events are about, whether it's a triathlon or a marathon. It's really about finding out what's in you and putting yourself in a position of being uncomfortable, being uncertain, and finding out just what you can actually do. I worked as a journalist. I worked as a war correspondent. I went days, sometimes without sleep, on breaking stories. I remember during the Chile mine rescue in 2010, I think it was 4 days on about 5 hours sleep. The story was so big, there was so much interest. And I was at ABC News reporting from the Atacama Desert in Chile. And the morning show wanted it, the evening newscast and Nightline, the late night program wanted it, the story. There was really no time for sleep. And I remember day after day filing these stories thinking, I'm exhausted, I need sleep. But I just kept going. So I do know what testing endurance is like, but I think I'd never done that on a personal level to this extreme. I think the other thing that motivated me was a very personal element, which is that I have a sister who's been fighting breast cancer for 7 years. Her prognosis was much less than that. But when I look at my sister's resilience, the absolutely gruesome side effects of some of these drugs, the debilitating aches and pains, nausea, it just cripples her for a week, and then she gets better, and she has a week or 2 or 3 of quality, and then she has to do the whole regime again. When I kind of hit my own rock bottom on this ride, I looked at my sister's photograph on my handlebars and I thought, you chose to do this, Jeff. You have a finish line. She didn't choose to do this. Her resilience is on a completely different level to whatever pain you're feeling right now. You can do this, and you can do this for her. So, I look back on this and I think there are some really powerful lessons about testing yourself, finding extra fuel within yourself that you didn't know existed, challenging yourself in ways where you're not actually certain that the outcome is going to be the one you want, but just keeping going. And the reward is this incredible sense of satisfaction, of accomplishment, of euphoria.